The signal didn't come from a press conference. It didn't come from a beautifully lit stage in Washington with flags and podiums. It came from the silence of a trading desk at 4 in the morning, a data point that shouldn't exist, a mathematical impossibility under the old rules. Yesterday, the leash snapped. The artificial gravity that held your world together just turned off. They won't tell you this on the evening news. They will tell you it is a glitch. They will tell you it is speculation. They will tell you it is temporary volatility caused by weather or supply chains. They are lying. What happened yesterday, specifically at the close of the session on the 14th of January 2026, was not a market fluctuation. It was a divorce. For 50 years, the price of silver and gold has been a dog on a leash, held by the Federal Reserve and the bullion banks. Yesterday, the dog bit the hand. The price of silver shattered the $90 ceiling. It didn't just pass it, it tore through it. $92.23. That number is not an investment return. It is a siren. It is the sound of the lifeboats being lowered while the captain tells you the ship is unsinkable. You need to understand the physics of what is happening right now. This is not a bull market. A bull market is when the economy is strong and people are buying. This is a currency crisis. When silver jumps 14% in 2 weeks while the officials tell you inflation is under control, that is not growth. That is the currency collapsing in real time. It is the dollar screaming as it dies. Look at the divergence. They released the CPI numbers 2 days ago. They told you inflation is cooling. They told you the beast is tamed. They massaged the numbers. They used substitution. They swapped the price of steak for the price of hamburger in the basket and told you meat is cheap. They swapped the price of owning a home for the price of renting a basement and told you housing is affordable. It is a statistical sleight of hand, a magic trick designed to keep you calm while they pick your pocket. But the market stopped believing the trick. That is what $92 silver means. It means the market has looked at the Federal Reserve's balance sheet, looked at the $36 trillion debt pile, and realized there is no way out. The math is terminal. The actuaries know it. I spoke to a contact who manages risk for a major pension fund this morning. The mood isn't panic. It's resignation. They know the 60/40 portfolio is dead. The idea that you can hold 60% stocks and 40% bonds and retire safely is a relic of a world that no longer exists. Bonds are supposed to be the safe money. But when inflation is running double digits, real inflation, not the government number, bonds are just certificates of confiscation. You are locking in a guaranteed loss. And now the physical reality is crashing into the paper delusion. This is where the story gets terrifying. It's not just about money printing. It's about the stuff, the actual things. You cannot print silver. You cannot print copper. You cannot print a cargo ship. China knows this. While you were watching distractingly staged political dramas, Beijing made a move that effectively checkmated the Western industrial base. As of January 1, they reclassified silver. It is no longer just a precious metal. It is now a dual-use item. National security, that is the phrase they use. By labeling it dual use, because it is used in satellites and military electronics, they have legalized a blockade. They have cut the flow. Think about the implications. China refines the vast majority of the world's strategic metals. They are keeping the silver. They are keeping the gold. They are draining the vaults in London and New York. We are seeing arbitrage that shouldn't be possible. The price of silver in Shanghai is trading at a massive premium over New York. This is a vacuum. It is sucking the physical wealth out of the West and moving it east. The vaults at the COMEX are bleeding. The vaults at the LBMA are bleeding. And what happens when the West tries to restock? They look to the mines in Latin America. They look to Mexico. They look to Peru. But the mines are not delivering. This is the part of the equation the algorithms didn't account for. The human element, the blood element. In Peru, in the Pataz district, it is effectively a war zone. We are talking about armed gangs, cartels, taking over mining shafts. Engineers are being kidnapped. Infrastructure is being blown up. 13 dead in one attack. 3 more dead just this week. This isn't a labor dispute. This is a collapse of the rule of law in the supply chain. You cannot get the ore out of the ground if the truck drivers are afraid of being shot. In Chile, at El Teniente, the ground itself gave up a seismic event, a collapse. 6 workers dead. This is the largest underground copper mine in the world. And remember, silver is a byproduct. 70% of the world's silver comes from mining other things. When the copper mine stops because of a cave-in, the silver supply stops too. It is a domino effect, a chain reaction of scarcity. So you have China closing the exit door, you have Latin America closing the entrance door, and you have the US Mint, the entity responsible for giving you sound money, hanging up a close sign. That is the most chilling signal of the last 24 hours. The US Mint has suspended sales. They halted the Silver Eagle program. The official excuse is they need to review pricing. That is bureaucratic code. It means they cannot find the metal. They cannot buy silver at the fake spot price listed on your screen. The paper price says $92. The physical price, the price to actually get the metal in your hand, is over $100, maybe higher. The mint cannot buy it without acknowledging that the paper market is a lie, so they just stop selling. Imagine going to the bank to withdraw your cash, and the teller pulls down the shutter and says, "We are reviewing our dispensing policy." You would know instantly that the bank is insolvent. That is what just happened to the silver market. The window is closed. This brings us to the trap, the binary trap. The government has 2 choices, and both of them lead to the same destination for you, unless you step out of the system. Choice number 1, they fight inflation. To do this, they have to stop printing money. They have to raise interest rates to 10, 12, 15%. If they do that, the entire banking system collapses, the real estate market vaporizes, the interest on the national debt consumes 100% of tax revenue, the government shuts down, Social Security checks stop, the EBT cards stop working, cities burn. Choice number 2, they save the system. They print the money, they lower rates, they inject liquidity into the repo market, which, by the way, froze again this morning. They buy the bonds that nobody else wants. They keep the government open. They keep the checks coming. But the checks are worthless. The money becomes confetti. History tells us they always choose number 2. They will print. They will choose hyperinflation because it is a slower death than immediate deflationary collapse. It buys them another day, another week, another month of power. But here is what they will do to you while they print. This is the part that keeps me awake at night. It is the mechanism of compassion. They will not come to your house and steal your gold. That is too obvious. They will do it with a smile. They will do it for your own good. They are going to nationalize the retirement system. The Pension Benefit Guarantee Corporation, the PBGC, is already technically insolvent. It cannot cover the failures that are coming. So the government will step in. They will offer you a guaranteed retirement account. They will say the stock market is too volatile. They will say the bond market is too risky. They will say, transfer your 401k to us. We will give you a guaranteed 3% return. It is safe. It is patriotic. It is a trap. They need your capital to buy their debt. Once your money is in the GRA, you can't get it out. It becomes a line item on their ledger. You will get a monthly allowance adjusted for their fake inflation numbers, which will buy you half a loaf of bread in 5 years. And for those who saved, for those who put money aside, you will be the target of means testing. That is the new buzzword spreading through the halls of Congress. They won't call it confiscation. They will call it fairness. If you have silver, if you have gold, if you have crypto, they will say you don't need your Social Security, you don't need your Medicare, you are wealthy. They will strip your benefits to subsidize the system they broke. They will create a generation war. They are already doing it. They will tell the young that the old are hoarding all the wealth. They will tell the struggling 20-year-old who can't afford rent that grandma's nest egg is the reason he is poor. They will weaponize envy to justify the theft. We are seeing the beginning of unretirement. Look at the faces of your Uber drivers. Look at the people bagging your groceries. They are 70 years old. They did everything right. They saved, they followed the rules. And now they are working 12-hour shifts because their pension buys gas and electricity, but not food. The cost of living is rising vertically, and their fixed income is flatlining. The healthcare rationing is next. When the money runs out, the medicine runs out. We are already hearing whispers of efficiency protocols in the major hospital networks. That is corporate speak for death panels. If you are over 75, You don't get the hip replacement. You don't get the expensive cancer treatment. You get pain management. You get a pill. This is the brutal arithmetic of a bankrupt empire. But you are still here. You are listening to this. That means you are not asleep. It means you suspect the truth even if you haven't vocalized it yet. The system is a Ponzi scheme in its terminal phase. In a Ponzi scheme, the early investors get paid with the money from new investors, but there are no new investors. Foreign nations have stopped buying U.S. debt. The only buyer left is the Fed itself. It is a snake eating its own tail. So what is the antidote? What is the exit? It is staring you in the face. It is the very thing they are trying to hide. Silver. Why silver? Because silver is the only asset that is structurally undervalued relative to the money supply. But more importantly, silver is the people's money. Gold is the money of kings and central banks. Gold is for settling debt between nations. Silver is for survival. Silver is for bread. Silver is for fuel. Silver is for bribing a border guard or paying a doctor when the electronic payment rails go down. Silver reprices your labor. Think about that. Right now, you work for dollars. You trade your life, your hours, your sweat for a currency that is being diluted by the trillion. You are working harder and getting poorer. That is the theft. When you convert that paper into silver, you are freezing your labor in time. You are storing your energy in a battery that cannot be drained by a politician in Washington. $92 is just the start. When the panic truly hits, when the masses realize the ATMs are empty or the cash is worthless, the price of silver will not be measured in dollars. It will be measured in purchasing power. An ounce of silver might buy you a month of groceries. A tube of silver eagles might buy you a house. This is not speculation. This is history. This has happened in Rome. It happened in Weimar, Germany. It happened in Venezuela. It happened in Zimbabwe. And the mathematics guarantee it is happening here. The laws of economics are like gravity. You can ignore them for a while. You can use propulsion to fight them. But eventually, the fuel runs out. The fuel just ran out. The no-bid scenario in the bond market this morning was the engine sputtering. The freeze in the repo market was the stall. We are in free fall. Most people just haven't looked out the window yet. Do not listen to the calming voices on the television. They are reading a script written by the people who broke the world. They will tell you to stay the course. They will tell you to buy the dip. They are trying to keep you in the burning theater so they can sneak out the back exit. You have a narrow window. The U.S. Mint has closed its doors, but some local dealers still have inventory. The premiums are high. Yes, you will pay $100 for an ounce. Do not complain about the premium. The premium is the price of insurance when the house is already on fire. In a month, you will not care that you paid a premium. You will only care that you have the metal. Focus on the physical. If you cannot hold it, you do not own it. If it is in an ETF, it is a promise. If it is in a vault overseas, it is a hostage. If it is in the ground, it is a geology project. Get it in your hand, get it in your house. Build your lifeboat, not just with metal, but with skills, with community. The multi-generational household is coming back, not because it is trendy, but because it is necessary. You cannot survive this alone. The state will not save you. The state is the one drowning. You must become the bank for your family. You must become the safety net. We are entering the great leveling. The wealth that is trapped in paper, in bonds, in stocks, in currency is going to evaporate. It will be transferred to those who hold real assets. This is the greatest transfer of wealth in human history, and it is happening right now, this week, this hour. The data is clear. The mines are failing. The supply lines are severed. The debt is unpayable. The currency is dying. The door is closing. The U.S. Mint just slammed theirs shut. The next door to close will be the dealers, then the mining exports, then the borders. Do not wait for the official announcement. By the time they admit the crisis, it will be over. The shelves will be bare. The accounts will be frozen. Look at the table in front of you. Look at your hands. Ask yourself, what do I actually own? If the internet went down tomorrow, if the banks didn't open, what is yours? If the answer is nothing, change that today. Do not despair. Despair is a luxury you cannot afford. Despair is paralysis. Prepare. Action is the antidote to fear. You are the central bank now. You are the hedge fund. You are the safety.